Hi everyone, we're back again with Flying Monk Talk Show. I'm Alex and this is my old friend Mike Kaniewski, who studied Chun and Bagua with me for many years, and all his life he's also practiced Wing Chun, and his Wing Chun is really deep and has a profound understanding of the Ip Man style of Wing Chun and also the pre-Ip Man style. So today I just want to ask him a few questions. We're up here in his house near Swansea. Thanks Mike for joining us.
Hi. Yeah.
And first question, very simply, how do you sum up the essence of Ip Man's Wing Chun, considering there's so many branches now that take it in all different directions, but what have you discovered about the essence of Ip Man's Wing Chun?
Sure. Actually, it's quite simple. You have control your vertical mother line, so your central equilibrium. You have a continuous control of that. The body is continuously balanced around your central equilibrium. You're always holding that. And you then adjust your body in relation to the force acting upon it from your partner or your opponent to maintain that central balance. Mm-hmm. And that's it. So the biggest mistake that people make when looking at Wing Chun, in my opinion, is that they don't understand that Wing Chun is a series of exercises to develop attributes that are used by any martial art. Okay, so it's like Ip Man's genius was that he was able to distill the essence of, if you like, what is the core in terms of the application, or as he saw it, what is the core of that you're using when you're defending yourself when you're boxing. And Wing Chun does that. And if you don't understand that, people will then sort of add in things. So you get a lot of people who say, this is Wing Chun, but actually it's a blend of JKD or Filipino martial arts. And people will often say things like, oh, that looks like Wing Chun, but it's not really. It's how it moves on the inside, what you're doing, if that makes any sense.
Sure.
Constant self-adjustment is Wing Chun.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, from a point of contact, so
okay.
Just simple idea.
Okay, well, most I'll give you an exercise if it's of any use to you. If you stand just actually neutral. Okay, so it's very important. So Wing Chun doesn't have a training stance where we have a back leg forward. And that straight away tells you that it can't be about loading force, particularly because it's weak. Right, so it tells you that you're not looking to use too much strength when you're doing this. So a little exercise we can have is, if you place your hands together like this, and you can relax the elbows just naturally, all you're going to do is just press the hands and reach forward. So this creates a kind of dynamic of frame. So you'll have a load capacity. So all you're going to do is, the first thing, your arms are going to stay the same, but they're going to feed in and they're going to bow the back, and then they'll bow the legs, and that's your load capacity. Any more and you might tip over or you'll have to adjust. So that's the first skill of Wing Chun. So when I let go, the hand will just come back to neutral. It'll come back to its stable position. So in terms of an application, say, maybe we're here, and as this hand is, so what I'm looking to do now is try and find that load capacity, and where a gap appears, that tells me where I want to move or adjust. So if this hand is too heavy or it's light, that tells me where I want to come forward. Does that make any sense?
Sure.
That I mustn't hit the dummy beyond my capacity for my own body to absorb the resistance the dummy gives me. It's teaching me how to adjust, how to control my center. My hands move. As soon as my hands meet the resistance and my body feels it, then I cut the power. But I don't withdraw the power, I just hold it there. And that forms part of the idea of sticking, right? It's not, I don't lean and I don't chase the guy's hand. I move my center in, he presses against, my body observes, now we're stuck. If his hand moves away, my hand will chase as far as my own frame will go. And then I let it go. Yeah, so I'm always, and as long as I keep focused on the guy's center, then I'm always attacking his center.
Sure.
So the essence of the dummy is teaching me first how to move in, absorb power, and cut power. Not to muscle, not to lean. That's why we practice the dummy, we have the dummy form, and then we also do it in the air to check that we're not leaning.
Could you show a very short sequence on the...
Okay, well, the opening sequence then. So the first thing I do is I shoot the hand up. My hand is going to go forward, but as much as my hand is going forward, my body will then hit and go back. So it's not that I'm doing this, I'm not doing this, I'm moving in, and my body absorbs and then cut. Then as I turn, this is the next skill of the dummy now. Sorry, I'll show you the sequence in a minute. I'll just explain this because it's kind of useful to know. So I move in, I absorb the force and then hold that balance point. Now in reality, force is going to be continuously changing. So part of the idea of the dummy is that if I choose when I go to this movement here, as I do the next movement, if I press my elbow here, the force builds up here. So what I'm going to do is adjust my body so that it comes around. So I'm learning to kind of get this yin-yang, absorb and send. And the finish of that is, again, that I come back to a neutral position. The two hands press equally. It's not that I'm letting this one go, and it's not that this one is pressing heavier or lighter. I get back to that square body that balanced body position that we were just talking about now. So that little sequence, the opening sequence, is just 1, 2, 3, long. Here, so here I have an adjustment where I stick to the arm, and it comes around the body. But the next time, what I'm going to do is catch my body's balance at the point of impact. So I've got this continuous interplay of catching, controlling, cutting my power, sticking with the dummy, letting the force roll around the body. And now if I go banging away on the dummy really hard, I'm going to miss all that subtlety. So I get tough arms, but I'm not developing those attributes that I want to have as a Wing Chun system practitioner.
Can you do the same with legs? Or
yeah, okay, it's a good point, right. Okay, so we have in Wing Chun, there's a fairly extensive set of drills for kicking, which we call shigyuk. Now those exercises are not really for going out and kicking the guy. My teacher used to say to me that, you know, any half-decent grappler can throw you when you stand on 2 feet. Standing on one leg is just asking for trouble, you know. Also, if I stand on one leg for any length of time, then I actually am immobile. I have to put my foot down before I move or I'm going to fall. And as a Wing Chun guy, I want to have this ability to continuously adjust. I want central equilibrium, and I want to be able to continuously adjust that motion like a balloon or ball on water. It'll constantly adjust. It holds its own structure, and then it adjusts only to the force that's acting upon it. So kicking is usually done in defense of a kick. It's usually done where I jam the person kicking, and I usually want to do that as a Wing Chun guy. I want to do that when I'm in contact with the person. Because technically, if I'm not, I mean, obviously in application it's more subtle, but technically, if I'm not touching, then the kick is a long motion to do. So Wing Chun doesn't do any kicks above the waist, really, unless the guy's lying down, then you kick him anyway. But it tries to kick below the waist because of the vulnerability. The more I pick my foot off the ground, the longer it takes me to get back to central equilibrium. And like I say, the kicks are mainly to jam the person. As I feel his structure moving, as I feel his center, I'm going to use basically 3 legs. My standing leg, my leg stepping on his leg, and then his supporting leg. And that's how we view kicking as an idea, if that makes any sense. Excellent.